Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop for another flea market finds episode. This is stuff that I picked from the swap meet, the tractor show swap meet this past fall down in Connecticut. It was a really rainy, lousy day, but I did get some deals. One of the things I did get was this Kennedy 2-draw riser. I got this for 25 bucks. It's actually in pretty decent shape, and the reason why I got that was because in a recent video you may have seen that I picked up a very ugly 7-draw Kennedy top box, and my plan is to put the ugly top draw 7-draw on top of this and sell it as a package cheap for like 60 bucks. Anyways, there was nothing in this riser when I bought it, but I just used it for storage. So let's start with the first picks of the day. All of the stuff in this drawer right here, except for this punch, all of this stuff in this drawer right here I picked from one dealer. I picked some of this stuff out of a toolbox he had, and then some of these other things were just laying on his tables and stuff, and put it all together as a package and got the whole deal for 10 bucks. I found this little square, and then digging around in the box I found the blade. So I just need to unfortunately we're missing a screw here, so I'm gonna have to see if I can find one of those. I have reason to believe that this is a PEC tool just because of the way it looks. It is made in the USA, hardened, so this is actually a nice little square, except for the fact that it's missing that piece. Here's a little number 4026 Craftsman drill point gauge. So this angle here is for helping you correctly grind points on your drill bits, and it's got a little built-in protractor. And then there was a fishtail Fuji tool. This set of trammel points with the fine adjust, this might be Starrett. No maker shown on this trammel point set. I got this Starrett center finder, this Starrett center attachment, that is, for 3 bucks. I got this Miller's Falls combination square, small one, for $3. Unfortunately, it's got a missing vial. The scriber's there though. I got this offset Stanley chisel for $1. I got this neat little little jack. It's a little like lab jack for $1. It's got a bend in it here, but that'll straighten out easy enough. I've got some larger versions of these. And then from a guy I got this little Black & Decker drill bit set. It's missing one drill, and I think this might have been subbed out. These other ones look like they might be original, and they have hardly any. A lot of these look like they're completely unused. That one looks like the only one that may be used. I got that with this for $4. This is a I forgot what the technical term is for this, but this would be used on like a boat or dock to wrap a rope around to tie off a boat, and it's solid brass, which I thought was kind of neat. And then from another dealer that I've bought from in the past, he didn't have a lot for me this year, but he had this Milwaukee tubing cutter tool there, sitting there with a battery in it, and it actually seems to work. So here's your flip back, and there we go. I think it's only supposed to go one direction, maybe. Well, anyways, so I was thinking maybe grabbing a piece of copper pipe just to see how this works. But I got this for 15 bucks. Took a chance on it for 15 bucks. So I've never used one of these before, but apparently, put it in reverse, that's how you get this to stop right at the opening. So you can put this around the pipe, and then, Alright, I had to grab a fresh battery. It's a battery gauge on the top here, so that's full. It's also got this nice little LED light that I didn't even notice before. So that's kind of neat. So I guess they make different size jaws to go in these things. Oh, that works pretty good. That's cool. So I figured out you put it in reverse, and that's what makes it come around and open to the open side there, so you can put this right onto the pipe. Because if you have it in the forward, it just kind of keeps going, you know, stops wherever it wants. Put it this way, automatically stops right there. So then we can put it back forward, put it on the pipe. So that works. So the other great thing about this is because it's M12, I have an extra M12 charger. So I can now sell this with the tool, with one battery and a charger as a complete set. So somebody can use it right out of the gate. So for 15 bucks, that was a really good deal. And from the same guy I got that from, I picked this up and was kind of joking with him about how, boy, this thing screams Chinese. This 4-in-1 tubing bender, no name, master cool. So anyways, he had 20 bucks on it. I wasn't even thinking of making an offer on it, and he said, you know what, you can have that, just take it, it's brand new. He said I could have it because he said I'm the only one who, and all the time he's had this thing for sale, I'm the only one who ever picked it up and looked at it. So I kind of glossed over these wrenches, figured I'd circle back around and take a better look at them. So this wrench is kind of neat. This is called a 8-inch speed nut wrench, made by the Speed Nut Wrench Corporation of Chicago. And on this side, it says that there's a patent, May 2, 16, which is probably May 2nd, 1916, which makes this wrench over 100 years old. And actually says trademark, registered U.S. Patent Office. But the way this works is there's a mechanism inside here that causes the jaw to move when you swivel the handle. So essentially what this is an automatic adjusting wrench. And I just take this block of metal, for instance, and if we want to put it on there, you can see it closes down on that, but then if I put it on all the way open, it closes down on that. So the drawback to this design, if you're wondering why they don't make something like this today, the drawback is that depending on the size of what you put in here, that's going to dictate what angle this handle ends up at. So unless you've got a lot of room to play with where you're using the wrench, it could be problematic. It might put the handle in a position where you can't get any leverage. So I could see why that would kind of stink. I guess the idea might be you might flip it over. No, that would be, yeah, that would be to change tightening direction because you want the force in the same direction. Not quite sure what the deal is with this. Is that like a clutch? Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with this little metal piece right here. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. So this wrench is worth about $15 or $20 on eBay. That's what they tend to sell for. And then this one here is worth less. This one is a Westcott Keystone. So underneath this crud right here is WES, and then this TCOTT for Westcott. Keystone Manufacturing Company of Buffalo, New York. Yeah, Buffalo, New York, USA. And then this says it's a 6-inch, number 76. This, I guess, is a fairly common one because this one only trades for about 10 bucks, 15 at the most on eBay. All right, like I said, because of the rain, it was really kind of a short day for me there. I didn't get a whole lot of items. Now I'm going to show you the last of what I picked that day. One of which was actually one of the very first items I bought for $10 in the morning. And after I bought it, I left it at that dealer's location so I didn't have to carry it all the way back to the car. And a lot of people were asking about it. But luckily I snagged it. So this is the item that I spotted first thing in the morning and was the deal of the day, I would say. I got this thing for 10 bucks. So this fan was made by the Hunter Fan and Ventilation Company of Memphis, Tennessee. I'm assuming it's probably a precursor to what is now Hunter Douglas, the manufacturer that you now see in stores. This is a model 292 or 262, I think. And then it says Type CG16. And I measured the blades, and the blades are 16 inches in diameter. So I'm guessing that's where that number comes in. This is an oscillating fan, so it has the ability to swivel back and forth. You can either manually position it so it stays in one position, or you can engage this clutch, and then this little gear mechanism on the back will cause the fan to oscillate back and forth automatically. It's got a 4-position switch here on the bottom that apparently is going to be off, and then 3 speeds. It's nice that the switch looks original and isn't broken. Lots of times these get busted. This one even feels like it would work fine. So it's missing the cord. There's a cord going from the motor down to the base, but then inside here there would have been another cord wired to the switch that would have come out right here. And I'm guessing the insulation was really bad on it, so they decided to just cut it off. So I'll have to rewire a new cord onto it. And it's not frozen, it spins freely, so there's a good possibility that this is a working fan. This is that screw jack that I ended up picking up for 5 bucks off a guy. This was, again, rainy day, kind of a lousy sale for a lot of people. And this was one of those guys, he didn't even get out of his truck, he just talked to me through his open window. And I saw the screw jack sitting there, and I said, "How much for the screw jack?" He said, 5 bucks. I said, "Oh, you're forcing me to buy it." He says, "Well, I'm not here to take stuff home." So the reason why it's 5 bucks, I mean, it's still a deal, even though it's got an issue, which is that it is locked up. But I'm betting that that's just rust, because it's got plenty of that to spare. So I'm just curious whether or not, if I put a pry bar on this thing, whether or not an official pry bar, but you know what I mean. Just see if I can get this thing to move. Yep, there we go. Alright, so that's all I needed to know, was that it's not completely seized. I'll be able to loosen that up enough, expose the screws, and put some penetrant on there, and it should work just fine. So yeah, that's a heck of a deal for 5 bucks. I forgot what brand this one is. It's not a Pexto. It is at least I don't think it's a Pexto. Well, actually, see, I don't have a name on it. It just says 2X12. So, don't know who makes that. Also, I actually found 2 companies listed online that use a 2X12 as a model number. LK, that's ELKAY, and Simplex. Simplex I've heard of, LK I haven't. For all I know, Simplex might be a subsidiary of LK or vice versa. But both of them say the 2X12 is a 20-ton capacity screw jack, so that's a pretty good size one, and a heck of a deal for 5 bucks. And from the same guy I got the screw jack from, I got this box of, or this carton of chemicals. He had 2 boxes on the ground, this and another box, loaded with all different kinds of chemicals, and I asked him how much for those, and I think he said like $1 a piece. So I immediately grabbed all the oil that was left. It's 20W50, it's the Napa Premium Performance, which is really their cheapest oil, I think. But, you know, got 5 quarts. Made sure they were all unopened. You got to check because, of course, people do an oil change and they'll put their waste oil in the container to return it to the store. And then if they don't get around to getting back to the store, when their garage gets cleaned out or whatever the estate situation is, next thing you know, somebody grabs these and thinks they're full of oil, and they're full of dirty oil. And then I got these 6 cans of engine clean. This is the spray-on foaming degreaser. This stuff tends to work really good. I usually end up seeing this in the what's the name of the company? I forgot it. I forgot the name of the company, but there's another company I buy this product from. It's got a very strong ammonia smell to it. The concern with older aerosol like this is that it won't spray, but I popped the cap off of one and tried it, and it was spraying. And then the other thing too is, with something like this, even if the propellant goes away inside the can and it won't spray anymore, what I'll do is I'll puncture the can in the bottom here and drain out and just use it as a solvent and brush it on. Again, this stuff now I think is up to around $5 or $7 a can in the auto parts store. So, and the only other chemicals I saw there that caught my eye was gunk hand cleaner. You know, this stuff is waterless hand cleaner, but if you're like most people I know, like myself, we still end up rinsing with water after we use this stuff. But it works well. Get the grease off your hands. And Armor All Auto Glass Cleaner. So if you want to overpay for auto glass cleaner or glass cleaner in general, you buy the Armor All brand, right? So from the guy that I got the nice screw jack for dirt cheap and all those chemicals dirt cheap, I also went back and I saw this tote, and I looked in here and I asked him what the deal was with this stuff, and he says as far as he knows there are 2 workmate tables in here that have never been assembled. They're probably new old stock, a smaller one and a larger one, and he doesn't know if all the pieces are there, but he said I could have the whole tote with everything in it for $5, so I took a chance on it. So we've even got the Black & Decker Workmate Owner's Manual for one of them in there. So I'm going to take a couple minutes, pull this all out, and see if I can't put them together. So it's pretty clear to me that the box that this was stored in, apparently that tote, mice got in there, and was a lot of mouse poop, and you can actually see the corrosive nature of the mouse urine on this stuff. This is really where it took the brunt of it, so that's kind of a shame. This one, the spring actually rusted completely, fell apart. But anyways, so it looks like what we've got is that this was a brand new, never used Workmate standard dual height, model 79-00904. And the reason why I know it was never assembled is because there's the hardware bag, which hasn't been opened. And then there was a remnant of this box saying a 79021, which I'm not sure what that was. It's got the old main hardware price tag on it of $34.99. So it looks like that's the base you put underneath those 2 boards right there to make it the short one, and then you stack that on top of these legs, I guess, to make it the second height. And then this box, I can see from the photograph, it just makes out, it says Workmate and then bench work something drop leaf. So apparently what's in that box is just this thing. Looks like it's made to bolt onto the side of your workbench and give you a little vise mounting area to work on projects. And it looks like it's made to just flip down out of the way when it's not being used. Alright, so this little thing's complete. I'm not going to bother finishing assembly because it just all that's involved is basically screwing it to the side of a workbench or the wall studs, and then putting on the handles for the cranks. And then you've got some little stop blocks that come with it that go in these holes so you can clamp the edges of boards. And then it's also got almost like a V-groove for clamping thin pieces. So, and then here's the paperwork, and this is what it looks like in action. There it is, mounted to a wall in the working position, then folded down for stow, and then mounted to the side of a workbench, and then again folded down for stowage. So, I don't know. I don't really have a use for it, so I'll sell that. Well, there it is, fully assembled. So the way it works is the top is like the regular workmate table. You know, you can move the board's close to close that gap up and clamp things either in the V groove here. You've got V notches cut in here for small dowels and things. And then it comes with these little plastic stops that you can put in these different holes. It gives you all that. And then it's on a stand that's on a stand. So the way it works is if you decide that you want this higher height, you just leave it like that. If you want the lower height, those bottom legs will fold up and disappear behind those panels and allow this part of these legs to actually touch the ground, and basically it drops the height of the whole thing about 8 inches. So pretty good. And then of course, like all workmates, when you're done using it, this folds up and that folds down so it can be stowed flat up against your garage wall or workshop. So nice that all the parts were there. Too bad the mice peed all over it. So alright guys, I guess we're going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and please consider sharing the video. Take care.